So here we are on May 12th, 2021, and it's a wonderful sunny day. It's 12 degrees C outside. It feels much warmer, I would say. So let's take a look at how the plants are growing. The grass is obviously growing really well. There's 3 trees right there. The red maple died. On the right is a mulberry, a volunteer seedling. I think that died as well. So I've planted another red mulberry there. And it seems to be doing okay, so hopefully that continues to do well. If you look around the ground, there's always volunteer seedlings. So right there, for example, that's an ash seedling, as is that one. This is a Staghorn sumac that I rescued from a park, growing well. There's some flowers there. The rose bush is growing well. It's getting huge. There's a bunch of ash that I planted in pots, and you can see some Korean pine there. I believe they're about 5 years old right now. So they're growing okay, not the fastest, but not too bad. And then if we just look over to the side, we will see on the left my largest kiri tree, Paulownia tomentosa. It's budding now, so that's exciting. You can see that there's a dead branch at the back, but then this one, I guess this will be the new leader, is budding, as is the other one that's right beside it. So the buds are nice, and it's budding all over. So normally what happens with the kiri tree is that it won't grow straight up from the top like many other trees. One of these side buds will become like probably that one, for example, will become a new leader, or maybe one of these, and then it'll leave a little nub there, just like it did in the past with that little nub. And I guess that's just how it grows. I've noticed that the other tree, like this tree of heaven, Ailanthus altissima, it tends to do the same. As you can see, it's also budding out, but you see this bud is going to become the new tall leader, and over here is the height from last year. So there is a bud up there, so maybe that'll grow and continue a straight path up, but I'm betting that this one will be the one to continue growing vertically. Over here you can see asparagus, and this is how asparagus looks if you just let it grow. So if you cut it off, it's the asparagus that you'll find in the supermarket if you cut it off when it's about under 10 centimeters, maybe 8 centimeters high. But if you let it grow, it looks like this. And I'm not sure why we didn't get enough asparagus to eat, but I just let it grow. There's another kiri tree. There's the tallest ash tree that I have, and it's already over 2 meters high. So I suppose it'll attain 3 or 4 meters this growing season. If we look over here, here's some stones that I found while digging. This stone right there, I guess that's granite. I found it about 1.5 meters underground, and same with this one. I'm not sure what kind of stone that is. I don't know too much about geology, But if any of you know, that would be cool. It looks like some kind of amalgamation of other stones, not uniform. And so there's just some random pots. Here's the mustard garlic flowering. So in the last video I thought they were first year growth, but I guess they're second year growth since they're flowering. And here's black raspberry. It's leafing out well. So they may yet produce berries by June, but perhaps this year they'll be late. So there's a ton of dirt here that I dug up from somewhere else. I'll show you in a moment where that dirt is from. So continuing on, black raspberry. And if we look behind the fence here, black raspberry again, and here's a catalpa. It's starting to leaf out. It's usually one of the late bloomers, so it's actually on time this year, but all the other plants have leafed out a little later. This pawpaw back there, I separated it from a mother plant, and that was 2 years ago, and it's thriving, so that's pretty good news. And so I have a bunch of dirt over here as well, so I decided to just create my own little raised garden bed. Just piled up the dirt and put some pots around it to keep the dirt in. And over here I already have white potatoes growing, and then I planted some chayote at the base of that ash tree, and then further down there I planted some sweet potato, and then to the left I planted some golden berry, and then further down closer to the shed I planted some honeydew. I don't know if those will grow, but the potatoes are growing so far, so it should be okay. Now the place where I got all that dirt from was this spot right here beside the house. So it may not look like a very big hole, but I've been digging probably, who knows, 10 shovelfuls each day every time we come outside to play. And so it's about 2 meters deep at the deepest there, and it's right beside the basement window. So my plan is to make that basement window bigger, create an egress window which you could easily use to walk outside of the house if you're in the basement. So egress windows if there's a fire and you need to get out, but for us we'll use it for perhaps coming outside to play in the winter, because we don't really have a proper mud room, and so that's disadvantageous. So we'll make the mudroom in the basement, and then it'll walk out of the egress window into this pit, which I will turn into a greenhouse, a Wallapini greenhouse. And I moved the location. I did want it at the back, but now I think this is a better spot to have it at. So I'll update you on the progress of that as it comes along. But for now, it's just a big pit in the ground. And if you see, there's a root there, and that root, I cut already 3 of them that large and larger. But that root was coming all the way from the 100-year-old black walnut in the back. And you can see the black walnut now. It's starting to leaf out finally. And yeah, plenty of leaves, as you can see. And if we come back down to the garden, you'll see this American elm leafing out quite nicely. And pawpaw grown from seed there. This one I separated from a mother tree, and it doesn't seem to be leafing out, so My guess is that it's probably dead. I have other pawpaw seedlings here as well that are leafing out, and these are pear, I believe, Asian pear, and I believe this is apple. And here is mulberry. This is a white mulberry, actually, I think, that I planted from dried mulberry seeds, so that is possible. And down here are some apple seedlings. So you see those big tufts? Those apple seedlings, I planted them over the winter, just right into the ground, and there they are growing. Some more apple seedlings. You could see some squirrel digging action there. And there's another Paulownia tomentosa. And behind it on the shed is a really nice vine. It's I think they call it Japanese creeper. It's different from Virginia creeper. I think it's a lot nicer, and it's not as crazy growing. So if we go back here, you'll see some ad hoc playthings. But there's the big compost pile at the back, and just plants growing everywhere. The Robinia pseudoacacia, the black locust, is leafing out quite nicely. And then the big mulberry behind it is also leafing out. Though I have seen on some social media where people or somebody in, Eric, his name is, in New York State, I'm not sure exactly where, but New York State, his mulberry actually already has the fruit on it, and this tree has basically, the leaves haven't even come out completely. I know this tree does produce fruit though, because it did produce 3 measly berries last year, but you know, that was its first year of production, so hopefully it'll do well. And over here I have some thornless honeylocust. So they're a little bit bigger than seedlings. This is their second year of growth. And if you look on the ground here, you'll see like a ton of plants like that. Those are all ash. So they grow like crazy around here, and I assume that this area of Ontario is not affected by the emerald ash borer. So there we have Virginia creeper just making its way everywhere into that little hut there. And here are some of my tropical plants that I brought outside on May 1st. So it's kind of difficult to do hardening off, where you take the plant out for an hour on the first day, 2 hours on the second day, 4 hours on the third day, and so on. So what I did was I just put them under this, it's actually a pallet, but it's also for children to play on. And so I just put them under here, and they get some sun when the sun's lower in the sky, and they're allowed to grow with a lot more light than when they were inside, and they get some rain. And so far, none of the plants have had any sunburn from being out here for 12 days. And we even had 2 nights of frost warnings, but it looks like all the tropical plants have been fine. The weather report said 2 degrees, but then there was also a frost warning, but they're all fine. So then we have avocado, calancho piñata. This is an IKEA tree, I forgot what it's called, Dracenia marginata. There's jackfruit right here. This is a native mulberry. Jackfruit again. There's Carolina Reaper back there. Tangerine, that's the tallest. And but the most annoying thing of all is this. So these squirrels, they're good, they plant plants, but look, they just destroyed a really well-growing avocado because they dig up the avocado seeds because I guess it smells good. But then the thing is that they don't even eat the avocado seed. They just dig it up and then take a bite and then find out that it doesn't taste good, and then they just throw the avocado seed on the ground, and then they also kill your plant. So with avocado, you have to be really you have to be extremely cautious about the pesky squirrels. That's why my avocado there has I just put some broken pots and bricks there to protect them, but then the squirrels still killed one of the trees. The other trees don't need that protection because I guess only avocado smells that delicious. And over here as well, I put some more tropical plants to harden off, and again, they're under something, but they do get some sun. And you'll see this is Dracania Draco, and this is guava, and here's a pot that it looks like the squirrels destroyed again, but this was supposed to be salak. There's one there, and I guess they're not spiky enough. They are spiky, but it didn't discourage the squirrels. And there is Longan Bodhi tree right here, tangerine, some succulents, and at the side of the house you'll see the grapevine going all the way up the side of the house. So that's growing, but not quite leafed out yet. I guess give it 2 more weeks. So in any case, I do hope you're all doing well. There's not 100% good news out there because of the virus and all the things that are going on, but I hope you and your family are doing well and continue to stay safe and healthy.